YouTube! What's up, Tamers? It's your boy, Lilithmon Stand, and today I have a very special deck to show you. What makes this deck special, you say? Well, the past week or so, the results for the Tamer battles here in Japan, there's a deck that is very, very quickly rising to prominence. And when I say rising to prominence quickly, I mean like something in the ballpark of like 30 wins, 20 wins a week, which is pretty significant numbers over here. And yeah, it's a deck that you guys have probably heard about before if you've been playing the game for a bit. It's Lilithmon Loop. Why is that so hard to say? And in the past, the deck was kind of inconsistent, but with some of the tools from BT7, the deck has gotten the consistency pieces that it needs to really go off every game. And yeah, it's very scary. I played a couple of games just testing it out, and you can definitely see the power in the deck. You do have to get some experience under your belt, though. It's not one of those decks where you can just kind of put it together, play, and say, okay, I'm good now. No, you have to really grind through some of the matchups for this one. But anyway, let's take a look at the deck and some of the cards that are included in there. All right, meet me downstairs here, folks. So first up, we're going to start from the babies and going all the way up to the level 6s. So first up, I've got Puchimeramon. So I've got, I think in English he's called Demi-Meramon. I could be wrong. But I've got 2 copies of that and then 3 copies of Tsunomon. But honestly, you could just run 4 copies of this card if you want. Really, the piece that you're looking for is an effect that allows you to draw cards and drop cards, because that is really the way that you enable Lilithmon Loop, and that is getting all of the pieces you need very quickly, and drawing and dropping helps do that. All right, next up I've got, for the level 3s, it's going to seem really weird, I know, but 1 copy of Skymon. This guy, look, I don't like running 1 copy of anything, but in this case, this deck allows you to like willfully get cards that you need, and just 1 copy for this guy is enough. Once you get him, then you're pretty much set. 3 copies of Annoying Gajimon. The reason you run this guy is just for the effect of your opponent not being able to gain memory through things like Digimon or options that has to come through Tamers. And so, especially in BT7, this card is this archetype of card that allows you to stop your opponent from gaining memory outside of Tamer effects. It's actually quite strong. So if you don't have any copies of this and it's the BT5, BT6 over in the English version, please grab a couple of copies of this because it's going to be useful in the future. 3 copies of level 3 Lilithmon from BT6. This guy's got a super useful effect allowing you to destroy Digimon this level 3 whenever he's destroyed, and because you can willfully destroy your own Digimon, this is quite useful. Again, 3 copies of this bad boy. And then we got 4 copies, rounding out the level 3s, we got 4 copies of BT2 Gabumon. Like the Puchimeramon, this guy allows you to draw cards and drop cards in Inheritance, and that is really what you're looking for. This is the only reason you run 4 of this, because you need to cycle through cards as quickly as possible. Shout out to the promo artwork right there. All right, moving on to the level 4s. We've got 1 copy, again, 1 copy is all you need, of Kinkaku Promote. So Kinkakumon Promote is able to swing as soon as it's played, doesn't have summoning sickness, so to speak. So yeah, really useful. Honestly, if I were to make some changes to this deck, I might add more than 1 copy of this card, maybe 2. But yeah, as long as you have 1, you're good to go. Moving right along, some of the new BT7 cards. We got 4 copies of Eismon. So this guy is super useful. Whenever you have Eismon Scatter Mode in your trash and you drop this guy in there, he immediately comes onto the board, and he gets plus 2,000 for every Scatter Mode that's in your trash. So another way that you can discard cards and then get some value out of them with Eismon. And of course, if you got Eismon, you need the 4 copies of the Scatter Mode. This card's super useful in that if you end up playing it, and it's not that bad play costs, you can actually draw 3, drop 2, which is really, really good. And then, you know, once you drop some Eismon, and you have this guy in the trash, then he comes back for free. Shout outs to the... Ooh! If you know what that said, let me know in the comments below. The sleeves here kind of the drip. All right, that's it for the level 4s, actually. I just realized that's all the level 4s. Moving right along, I got the level 5s. This is where the deck differs from, I believe, previous lists that were out there. I think this recently got found out by some of the JP folks. I don't know if it's been known in English or not, but kind of a revelation in the Digimon world, or Digimon TCG world for Lilithmon Loop. And that is running 4 copies of Cerberusmon, or Kerberomon in Japanese. And super useful because of the naming, but secondly, his deletion effect lets you draw 2, drop 1. Again, just more cycle to find your Lilithmon loop pieces. And at the 6/3 play cost, the actual raw play cost isn't that bad if you're really hard up for a Digimon. First up, I've got 1 copy of Chimeramon. Again, lots of one-offs in this deck, and my gut feeling says that it's not a good thing, but being able to cycle through cards so quickly doesn't really end up being a problem. But again, Chimeramon on play, deletes level 5 if you delete one of your Digimon. Hey, what if you deleted Lilithmon? That'd be kind of nice, wouldn't it? Delete level 3 and level 5, not bad. But 1 copy of that guy. We're moving on, rounding out the level 5s. I have 4 copies of Kerberosmon or Cerberusmon Human Mode, I believe that's what it's called. Someone check me on the English pronunciation, English naming for this card, but I believe it's Human Mode. And this guy is nice because he has the effect that lets him attack immediately once he's played, or rush. Additionally, if you have a Kerberos or Cerberusmon on the board, you can delete it and gain 9 memory when you hard play this card. Only hard play. The idea is that this card becomes free if you have a Cerberusmon on the board. So you can swap your Cerberusmons that you just played. If you play them raw, for this guy, you can attack immediately. And it gives you 9 memory back, but it's basically just swapping out those 2. All right, level 6s. So some of the new cards from BT7. I've got 2 copies of the Nidhoggmon from BT7. You're really never going to play this guy. He's really just here for the discard effect. Whenever you discard this card, you gain 1 memory. Because this deck has so much discard ability, this card is just useful to sometimes, just gain a memory or gain an extra memory when you need it. It's a pure value pick. Not really going to play this card ever. And then, of course, you have to have 3 copies of the problem herself, Lilithmon, in all of her glory. Why is this card good? If you've got more than 10 cards in the trash, you pull back 2 purple option cards, put them in your hand, and then the first time you play an option card during a turn, you gain +2 memory. You're wondering, well, that seems pretty good. What options can I play with her? In due time, young Padawan, in due time. But yeah, 3 copies of Lilithmon. You could run 4. You could run the split here a little bit differently, but this is, I think, the most agreed upon build. And finally, to really give the Lilithmon loop the power effects that you need, you've got to have 3 copies minimum of Omegamon Zwart. Zwart on Digivolve allows you to drop 3 cards into your trash and then pull back 2 level 8 or lower purple or black Digimon and play them raw on the board. That includes copies of this guy right here. So you get this guy out, you drop some of these bad boys, and if you have the human form or human mode in your hand of the Cerberusmon, you can trade them out for Blitz immediately. Or, Rush, not Blitz. But yeah, he's just super useful. He's also a little bit of clear, and he gives you potentially 2 Digimon, hopefully 2 Digimon that can swing immediately. All right, now, the actual options. How do I make Lilithmon good, East? I don't know what options I can use. Well, you just grab 4 copies of Jack Raid here that lets you gain +1 memory for every 10 cards in your trash. In addition to Lilithmon's effect, you're probably going to be using this and getting a minimum of 3 memory. In a lot of cases, 4 or 5. So yeah, 4 copies of this card just because you always want to be able to cycle and gain more memory to get your good effects off in a turn. And then, one of the new cards from BT7, I've got Call of the Dark, which allows you to destroy one of your Digimon on the board. Maybe like an Lilithmon or something like that. And pull back 2 purple Digimon cards from your trash and put them into your hand. Probably wondering, well, why does this deck even run this? It's Lilithmon loop, my friends, and you need to loop your Cerberusmons. So, you need to constantly be having these guys in your hand, and these guys in the trash. So once you've looped it one good time, you can play Call of the Dark. If they were destroyed, pull them back, and then you can use them again when you loop out your Cerberusmons. So 2 copies of that. And again, you can loop these because Lilithmon allows you to pull back 2 option cards from the trash once you've used them. And finally, for the options, I've got 3 copies of Emergency Digivolution. Why is this card useful? Well, if you want to get from your Lilithmon to your Omegamon's Wart and swing in the same turn with him, so you can get the removal effect, this card's super useful. You can Digivolve your Lilithmon into Omegamon's Wart for free, and pull 2 Digimon onto the board, swing with him, remove a Digimon on your opponent's side of the board, and then swing with your potential 2 Cerberusmons or Cerberusmon and Promote, and hopefully finish the game up. Again, 3 copies of those. And then, for Tamers, this deck doesn't run many Tamers, but you might have noticed that this card here is a white option, which means you need a white card on the board to play, and that comes in the form of the new Analog Boy from the EX1 series. Super cool, really useful in a lot of different archetypes, really great for Cycle. Lets you open up top 3 cards of your deck when you play them, and you pull 1 Digimon, just any color Digimon, into your hand. The other cards go to the trash. Not to the bottom of the deck, the trash. That's really important here, and that's what's kind of useful for this deck, because you can drop cards you don't need, like the Cerberusmons, into the trash, and then pull back the Cerberusmon human form or human mode into your hand. And then whenever one of your level 5 or higher Digimon with sources, that's an important part there, is destroy, you can rest him and then gain a memory and hatch an egg. That secondary effect is really not that useful for this deck. What you're really looking for is getting a white card on the board so you can play your emergency Digivolution, as well as the cycle for the cards into the trash and into your hand. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole deck. With the addition of the new Call of the Darkness, as well as the Eismon archetype, and the use of the people who figured out how to use the Cerberusmons, this deck's really gotten a lot of wins under its belt the last couple of weeks. And I really implore you guys to give it a try. Again, it takes a couple of games to really get the lines into your head. You know, you're like Tanjiro looking for the line. It really takes a moment to get those into your head. But once you do, it's a very, very powerful deck. Very consistent as well. And yeah, if you've got any thoughts, comments, or any other splits or cards you would add to this deck, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Y'all be good. Oh, one more thing. Do me a favor, man. Do me a favor, for real. If you got this far in the video, if you got this far, you probably like it. So do me a favor, hit the subscribe button while I hit this this microphone here, and hit the like button as well, and I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.